Coding 101 The Kids Way is an educational program which teaches kids ages 7 to 12 years all about coding and how coding impacts their world. The aim of the program is to inspire kids to learn how to code through practical experiences and insights to career opportunities. This outline was developed by Smart Kids Educational Club on behalf of Tambourine Learning for the Public Broadcasting Corporation of Jamaica.
Are you ready? Let's go! Wow! All right! Hey guys, welcome to Coding 101 The Kids Way. I'm Cece the Robot. Pleased to meet you guys. Are you ready to learn about coding? Because I'm about to tell you a bit of this 011 action. Just kidding. I'm going to start with, what is coding? Well, by definition, coding is the process of assigning a code to something for classification or identification. You didn't get that right? Let me be a little bit clearer. Coding is a set of instructions we create to communicate with computers. Simply put, computer programming. Computer coding empowers kids to not only use digital media and technology, but also create it. Instead of simply playing a video game or using an app, we can make our own video game or even our own website. It's like using different languages to communicate with one another. You know, English, Spanish, Japanese. Just like humans, computers also have many languages they understand. For example, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python, C++, and more. All of these are syntax-based languages where coders manually type the script text. Kids who are just getting started, drag and drop visual programming is a great way to learn the fundamental concepts of coding. Visual programming, such as Scratch and Scratch Junior, allows kids to connect blocks together to make programs. We'll get all that fun later in the show because I'm about to tell you how computer programming improves your everyday life. This is simple. Every app you use exists because of computer programmers. How your mobile phone operates and its functions such as taking pictures, making calls or video calls, how it accesses the internet, to your video games from the controllers, to how the characters in the game function, to the basic GPS in your parents' car, which helps them to find a specific location. Your smart TVs at home that you use to watch all YouTube series you love, to how you operate your tablets, and much more. In other words, programming rules your modern world. In summary, computer programmers use coding to create all sorts of technology to make jobs easier, to save lives, and to improve lives. People use coding to give computers and other machine instructions on what actions to perform. From artificial intelligence predicting cure of diseases, to making new desserts, to controlling your home thermostat. Here are a few ways coding impacts the world around us. Coding is used in many professions such as computer programmer, computer systems engineer, web developer, software application developer such as game developers, healthcare, aviation, music, art, industrial manufacturing, and a lot more. Wow! I think I've learned so much coding, from what it is, to how does computer programming improve our lives, to what does coders do. But right after this break, I have a surprise for you. We'll be right back. Welcome back, mini coders. And for those who are just joining us, I'm Cece the Robot. Before the break, I told you that I've got a surprise for you. Are you ready? I'm so excited! We have with us an actual computer programmer, DeAndre Edwards. Hi, DeAndre.
Hi, Cece.
My mini coders and I have a few questions we want to ask you about coding and computer programming. First, can you explain to us what computer programming is from your perspective?
I'd say computer programming is the process of writing instructions for a computer to produce a desired outcome.
How does it work?
When you create these instructions, another program then takes them and translates them into so that the computer can understand them.
What do you do first when creating something new?
The first thing I do is try to break it down into smaller parts and make sure I understand everything fully, and then try to select the best tools for the job.
What do you do when everything goes wrong?
The first thing I try to do is to take a deep breath and try to remember that these things can happen from time to time, and then begin diving into try to resolve the issue.
Are there software designs for kids to create programs? And if so, can you name a few?
Sure. So there's Scratch, which is probably the most well-known, as I've also then heard mention of Tinker and Kodu.
Can you name a few programming languages?
Sure. Some programming languages would be JavaScript, Java, Python, and C++.
So, how do you keep your programming and technical knowledge up to date?
Well, mostly I use social media, and we follow a few well-known programmers and companies who create content about the problems they experience and the tools and technologies they use to solve them.
Wow, now that's a lot of information. I think my system's going into overdrive. But thanks, DeAndre, for joining us. We'll be right back. I need to reboot for a short minute. Welcome back, mini coders. I'm back to normal now. And for those who missed my name, I'm Cece the robot. Earlier, I spoke about Scratch. Well, that's the fun part I spoke about. I'm going to show you how to build an animation with Scratch. Let's go!
Hi everyone, it's Zoe from the Scratch team, also known as Zinnia. Today I wanted to show you how to make a jumping game in Scratch. By the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to make a game like this one, where you can have a character jumping over moving obstacles. We'll do this in 5 steps. Make your character jump, make a moving obstacle, stop the game, add more obstacles, and keep score. Let's get started. So first, let's pick a character and make it jump. You can pick any character you want. I will pick the chick. And let's also choose a backdrop. I'll use the blue sky. To make the character jump upwards, we can use this block, change Y by 10. And if we make it repeat that 10 times, it'll go up really high. Now, we also want it to come back down. To do this, we can change Y by -10. And let's put that in a repeat loop too. Nice. It would be fun for the character to jump when we press the space key, so we can add the when space key pressed block on top, and then we can make it jump with space. We can also enhance the jump by making it play a sound, so we can just add this block, start sound chirp. Nice. Now our character can jump. Next, let's make a moving obstacle so our character has something to jump over. First, let's pick an obstacle. It could be anything you'd like it to be. I'll pick the egg. I'm actually going to make the egg a little smaller by setting its size to 80. You want the obstacle to be a bit smaller than your character, so your character can jump over it. Now, we want our obstacle to start at this side of the screen and glide over to this side of the screen. First, how do we tell the egg to start over here? We can tell it to go to a certain position. With this block, go to X and Y. In Scratch, every position on the stage has a certain number X and a certain number Y. In case it's your first time seeing this, X represents how far your sprite is from this side of the screen to this side of the screen, so side to side, and Y represents how high up your sprite is. So we need to tell the egg to go to this spot right here. Here's an easy way to do that. Just drag the egg to where you want it to go, and then the go to block in the menu over here actually updates to the exact X and Y of that spot. So we can just drag this block out. And then to make the egg glide across the screen, we can use this block, glide to XY, which makes the sprite glide smoothly to a certain place. We want the egg to glide to here, so we can just drag the egg over here, and then this glide block in the menu updates to the X and Y of this spot. So we can just drag that out too, and connect it, and now the egg can glide across the screen. Now, the egg glided once, but we want more eggs to keep coming. We can do that by putting this in a forever loop. And let's make this start when we click the green flag. Gliding across the screen in just 1 second is a little fast, so let's make the egg take 3 seconds to glide across the screen. Now we can jump over obstacles. Next, let's make the game stop if we run into the egg. There's this block, stop all, that will stop everything in your project. And we can make the egg wait until it's touching the chick. And then if it does run into the chick, have it stop the game. Let's try that out. I'll purposefully not jump. There you go, everything stopped. Oh, and let's fix this problem. Sometimes the chick gets stuck in the air because its code gets stopped when it runs into the egg, but it might not have been finished with its jump, so it's just frozen there. So we can fix this by making the chick go to a starting position when the game starts. So I'll put my chick where I want it to start, and then I will drag out a go to block, which will be set to that X and Y of that spot, and make that happen when you click the green flag. There we go. Now, to make our game even more fun, let's add more obstacles. It's actually really easy to do that. Just right-click on the egg and click duplicate. Now we have another egg with all the same code as the first egg, so it will glide just like the first egg does. Let's try it out. So we can't see the second egg. That's because it's right on top of the first egg. They have the exact same code, so they're gliding at the exact same time. So let's make the second egg wait 1 second before it starts gliding, so that they're spaced out from each other. Now, this looks good, except this egg is just sitting in the middle of the screen while it waits for 1 second. So let's make it hide when the project starts, so it'll be invisible, and then make it show once it's done waiting. That looks much better. And lastly, let's add a score so the player earns points every time they jump over the egg. To do this, let's make a variable. In Scratch, you can use a variable to keep track of a certain number in your project. So I'll make a variable called score, and we'll use it to keep track of the player's score. Every time the player manages to complete a jump, we can increase their score by 1. Nice. And when the player loses and the project restarts, we can set their score back to 0. There we go. That's a jumping game. I hope this tutorial helped you out. There are lots of other things you could try. You could have multiple kinds of obstacles. You could have, once the player reaches a certain score, the backdrop changes, so it's like they went to level 2. I can't wait to see all the things you make. Well, I'll see you next time. And scratch on.
Well done, mini coders, and thanks for joining me. Remember, I'm Cece the robot who helps kids to code. See you next time.